Mark, back to winning ways, first one here at Valley Parade. What were your thoughts on the game?
I was really pleased, obviously, with the first half. Some of our play was excellent, as good as we've produced since I've walked through the door. Could have won by a hatful if we're honest. Certainly had the chances to do that. I think apart from, obviously, the unfortunate episode when they actually scored, which the ball could have gone anywhere with the ricochet, unfortunately for us, ends up in the back of the net. At that time we were completely dominant in the game, and should have been 3-4 to the good. So I think second half, I think we were a little bit conscious of the wind, if I'm honest. I think we were a bit reluctant just to knock balls into space, a little bit fearful maybe that they'd just run out with the wind. And actually I think it was easier to play against the wind in the first half. I think it just helped us to retain possession at the top end of the pitch. But I think towards the end, I think we just got a little bit safe in our play. I think clearly we haven't won at Valley Parade for a long time, and I think the lads were a little bit conscious of that, and maybe we're a little bit safe in their work, a little bit more passive in terms of just getting goal side, and our levels dropped to a certain extent. But overall, I'm not displeased at all. I thought, as I said, some of the play that we produced in the first half was absolutely the level that I want us to be at. The trick now is to be able to produce that for a full 90 minutes. If we do that, then we'll be very difficult to beat.
You knew there was always going to be a bit of a risk playing a side already relegated, and perhaps not a lot of ideas on what to expect. But in terms of the start we made, how important was that in perhaps settling nerves, getting our feet under the desk?
We talked about that. You can't take liberties. It doesn't matter what opposition you're up against or what their circumstances is. You have to approach it in the right manner, and you respect the game, you respect your opponents, and you do that by playing to the best level that you can produce, and that's what we did. Obviously the goal in first 18 seconds or so, whatever it was perfect start for us. We talked about being really strong in the opening period, and we were. But yeah, we know ourselves that second half didn't quite press the dominance that we had. Needed just to be a little bit more clinical in some of our work, certainly with the final pass and maybe the strikes on goal that we had in the second half. But I'm not displeased. It's a win. We were due a win. We deserve a win because the players have done exceptionally hard since I've worked exceptionally hard just to take on board what we're asking them to do, and you see the difference in our play. I feel it's encouraging for everybody, I think.
One of the keys to that play as well is the forward line seemed to work quite fluidly today, with Lee Angol starting for the first time in a while. In terms of personnel as well, Kelleher back in the back line, how do you think they fared?
I thought they did very, very well. Good for Kels to play and being able to give him an opportunity up to this point, because obviously we wanted a little bit of continuity in terms of selection at the back just to give us that base, and Powdy and Jan have done really well in that regard, and the two fullbacks as well. So he's had to be patient, but he's great around the place. Great character, nice guy, wants to do well for the club, and will always be vocal, and took charge when the ball needed to be headed and cleared, and that's what Kels will give you. Leah, I thought, was excellent. I think you see when he's fitting well that he can link our attacking play at the top end of the pitch. He's a very clever player. We just got to make sure that we keep him sound, and hopefully he can have more time with us. I think it's important for him and for us. I think he can give us a good option.
In terms of wanting to end well, I guess this will do a lot for confidence heading into the final two games of the season.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've got a difficult game next week. Sutton obviously had a good result today, and we'll be trying to get into those places, so everything's on the line for them. But we've got to go there and say, well, we're not going to allow anybody to take liberties with us. They'll know that they're in for a really hard game. We know that we have to hit the levels that we did, more so in the first half than the levels that we showed in the second half, but we're more than capable of doing that.